And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. A very happy Jack Weinberger, a winner Jack Weinberger. Kansas State taking down Michigan State. Big time payday for the Weinberger household. We'll talk a little bit about March Madness, Lamar Jackson-Vikings rumors, and then we have some new segments that we're going to crack out today. We'll have hopeful, legit, delusional, talking about NFL fan bases and their hopes for a Super Bowl, and then 4 downs at the end. We have some fun questions that we're going to get to. Paul Farrington joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler, and the best executive producer in the world, Zach Bloomquist. Are you on camera right now, Zach? There you go. Give yourself the on hinge and available.
How's that hinge going? How's that hinge going, boy?
Zach Bloomquist.
Any updates?
Honestly, no updates because you can only get 5 likes a day.
Soak it in, everyone. Take a look at that face.
What am I gonna do with that?
This is why you should never buy it, because then you'll realize you're only getting 5 or 6. So right now you can just imagine how many you must be getting, and you don't have to know the truth.
Man, Zach, I would just be swiping on you. I'd just be swiping, reloading, and swiping on you. I'd lose them all up.
I did swipe on him.
All right, so like we said, the Kansas State-Michigan State game, unbelievable ending. Marquise Noel, what is it, 20 points, 19 assists?
Yeah, 19
just an
assists.
unbelievable performance from him. The tournament, as we said, is in the Sweet 16 right now. We feel like we're on a collision course. We picked Texas, Ziggy, Jack and I, and we were squad riding the Longhorns. We feel like we're on a collision course with UConn, who's Andrew's champion at the moment. So a little bit of tension could be coming to the Paul Farrington Show.
I mean, it's tough to not feel after UConn. This Arkansas team was all right, but after UConn just disassembled them 88-65, you got to feel a little nervous.
I liked UConn tonight. I did think that Arkansas, these freshmen, won their Super Bowl against Kansas. Kind of just happy to be here. I did not expect a 21-point blowout.
Oh, no.
23.
23. But yeah, it's going to happen, Paul. It's written in the stars. We will see Andrew in the Final Four.
And I know I'm in trouble because, Ziggy, when we were picking the brackets, right, the night before the tip-off of the tournament, I looked at Jack and Michael. We're all on the couch, and Zach, and I'm like, I like UConn. I really like UConn. I want to pick them. But then I got talked into, and I'm happy I'm on the squad ride at Texas.
Look, we're not out. We're not out. We're in the tournament.
I would much rather win with or lose with the boys
than win
alone.
I like that quote.
Or win with Andrew. Oh
yeah.
So I'm happy to be with Texas, but I can see a lot of pain and suffering coming for me. This UConn game, I mean, they look the best they've looked all year today.
Well, look, we're gonna beat Xavier. Not gonna. One would hope. One would hope. Yeah, it is we. We got Doe on the line. Hook 'em, baby. Zach's on too. Got a few of our other buddies on. I think Texas gets past Xavier. A court they're familiar in, Kansas City. That's where the Big 12 tournaments play. I think they're going to take them down. 4.5-point favorites, senior led. Then they'd have to play Houston
Or Miami.
Or Miami, which should be tough. But then again, look.
But Texas should be favored.
Before we look to UConn, not against Houston.
Miami, yes.
Yeah, Miami, yes. Before we look to UConn, they still got to get past UCLA or Gonzaga. So I mean, we're not there yet, but it's looking like it could
They're
be
not
panning
getting
out.
past UCLA.
Isn't it crazy?
I would agree. I think UCLA would beat them.
The right side of the bracket, you have what? Houston, Miami, Xavier, Texas, and then Connecticut, UCLA, Gonzaga. As of now, one of the two will be out tomorrow. And then on the left side of the bracket, what do we have? Alabama,
San Diego, Creighton,
State, Creighton, Princeton, Kansas State,
Tennessee,
and FAU. It is just very, very chaos on the left, and honestly, what we expected a little bit on the right.
The overall 1 seed usually has an easier path than the rest. But the difference this year, like Alabama, they've beaten Texas A&M, not community college, Clearwater,
Corpus Christi,
excuse me.
They've
beaten Maryland. They have to face San Diego State. And then they have to face either Creighton or Princeton. Like, they are not going to have to play a game where they're not favored by double digits, realistically.
I'm expecting on that side of the bracket, I know me and the rest of the country is expecting Alabama to really roll to the championship game, yes, and probably face, hopefully, Texas.
I mean, that's the one hope you have, right? Is they're like, because this San Diego State team can play. You just hope they're going to, like, overlook San Diego State or Princeton or whatever. But
at this point, though, I don't think there's really any overlooking. I mean, San Diego State can play, but they've played in the Mountain West, so they can't really score well. They've played Charleston and
Sweet
Furman.
16. That's when everyone starts to think, okay, we can win this thing.
Yeah, there's no overlooking.
Yeah.
I just don't think that San Diego State, and that's a problem with San Diego State. Bama's not going to overlook them. And I don't think that they can score with Alabama. They can score. They can beat Furman, not Alabama.
Just one more point I wanted to make on this before we head over to the NFL is a lot of people are talking about the Marcus Sasser injury for Houston and the concerns about that. Round by round, we've been talking about how much it'll affect them.
Huge problem tomorrow night against Miami.
No, and it will be going forward throughout the remainder of the tournament. But I don't think a lot of people are factoring in how big of an effect it's already had now because he sat out that Memphis game and they lost. With him, you got to think they beat Memphis with Marcus Sasser, and that's what stopped them from getting the number 1 overall seed.
And you look now, too, at their path ahead. Miami, one can argue, the deepest set of guards in the country with Pack and Wong and Miller.
Yeah.
There's the list goes on and on. Then next round, hopefully Texas
and
for us. Then you got the slew of those guys, Rice and Carr. Yeah.
Yeah, then you got UConn, UCLA-Gonzaga. So that loss to Memphis puts you in matchups with those teams as opposed to, San Diego State, Creighton. Creighton is very good, but Princeton, Kansas State. It's just I think it's a little bit of an easier route for Bama now, as we've mentioned.
It's not Creighton hate to say they're worse than like Gonzaga or Kansas State or Texas.
No, but when Creighton's on, they're really good. So maybe we'll see how it all plays out. But
also Princeton's getting cocky now and making TikToks,
they are
so it's over. I mean, it's over for them. Creighton will come out and they'll take them seriously and they'll kick their ass.
Are you rooting against Princeton?
Oh yeah. I'm done.
A lot of people are done with it. I've never seen this much hate for 15.
You know what? Because I like FDO, so I'm kind of jealous that Princeton's still playing.
Stealing the slip.
So hopefully Creighton does what they do and beats the crap out of them.
Well, I'll tell you, these Princeton guys, like several of them right now, I was reading an article, they like have to get their senior theses together on time. Like they're actually in danger of not completing it. So like one of them is like, he has to practice Spanish classical guitar. Another one is like trying to monitor a lab that's like going on at Princeton right now. Like, these guys are actually distracted.
This screams Creighton money line.
Ziggy, I saw a TikTok today of Creighton players in their Princeton players huddled around a table in their hotel room doing calc homework. Then the next TikTok I saw Creighton shooting around in the gym, and I drove to Suffern like 10 minutes away and took Creighton minus 9.5.
Yeah, everything on
and now it's up to 10.5. So Creighton, that's my lock of this round.
These Princeton guys, they beat Creighton. They really have it all, don't they?
If they beat Creighton, Bama's licking their chops.
My brother was going to, you got to think people in Missouri were like, wait, we can't have anything over these Tigers.
I don't think the basketball gods would let Creighton or Princeton play Alabama in the next round.
All I'm saying is if Princeton beats Creighton, at a certain point, Alabama's got to start getting a little nervous. Because I can't say I'm the biggest believer in team and destiny. But if you beat Arizona,
that nerd's guarding me. Are you kidding?
Princeton had 12 wins this year.
All right, Lamar Jackson, the Vikings. I've been seeing. I'm not buying too much into this, as you can see, Ziggy leaning back. I'm
so tired of this.
He doesn't even want to hear this. Look. It gets my attention when I see on Twitter and I see these articles that Lamar Jackson to the Vikings is a rumor people are talking about. I get it's the offseason that you need things to bring up, but it does get my attention when I see one of the best quarterbacks in the league being linked to my team. And here's my opinion on it.
He'll be injured week 3 with your offensive line.
Here's my opinion on it is Lamar Jackson to Minnesota is not a good idea for the Vikings. I understand that you pair him with Justin Jefferson, by far the best receiver he'd ever have. I know the unbelievable athleticism. He's lightning in a bottle. Not many guys are molded the way Lamar Jackson is. But when I look at the Vikings situationally, this is a team with so many holes on defense. They have no money. I don't want to give up draft picks. If you trade for him, you got to give up two plus. If you sign him on the
No, you can literally only give up 2.
Yeah. No. I mean, if they trade him to Baltimore, it could be more than 2.
You can't give up more than 2 first-round picks.
I'm saying like it could be like you could give up a third or a second. Yeah, and Kirk
you
would
can't give
go,
up more
assuming.
picks. No, this is actually a weird feature of the CBA. You literally cannot give up more picks.
Oh, if we trade for Lamar Jackson, we literally
once they apply the franchise tag, you literally cannot trade more than 2 first rounders.
Oh, well, regardless, 2 is too many for me. I don't want to do that. I look at Lamar Jackson and I see someone who the injury concerns are real. Baltimore in the playoffs this year, who was playing quarterback when they played the Bengals? Not Lamar Jackson. It was Tyler Huntley.
I think they could have won that game.
Tyler Huntley.
For everyone that's saying, "Oh, Lamar," like
they blew that game.
You can't worry about injury. That's the whole reason you're worried about injuries, because in the playoffs, Lamar wasn't there.
You got to ask yourself too, and in your case, I don't think that you can. Can Minnesota, with their current state, win the bowl with Lamar Jackson? No, it's different than the Jets. because there's pieces around.
Yeah,
everything else is there for them.
Great as he is, the state of the Vikings does not allow you to go and give Lamar Jackson $40-50 million a year.
And we're not one of those teams that's really, really desperate for a playoff appearance, right? You look at teams like the Falcons, and I can understand why the owner's just like, well, get me to the playoffs. I don't care. But, we've been to the playoffs recently. We've won games. We're not looking for like one last ride with this aging team that gets us 2 or 3 playoff wins.
I hate that mentality that fan bases have. Andrew has that with the Jets. He talks about just wanting to win or get to the playoffs. And I know you haven't been there for a long time. I want to win a Super Bowl. Regardless of the state of the Vikings, I want to win a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, at the moment, I don't think he gives you the best chance within the next 10 or 5-6 years of winning a Super Bowl.
And it's one thing if your defense was elite and you had a great line and
We're
the pieces were all there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're far from it. So I don't think it's worth spending what you're going to spend to get Lamar Jackson.
But now, if you were the Jets, and I know that they're
the Jets, that's a different story.
I know they're really going in on Rodgers,
story.
but if you were the Jets, and let's say Rodgers isn't in play, Lamar Jackson would definitely be on the table.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't understand why the Jets aren't talking to Lamar Jackson now.
So just to clarify, for anyone listening, it's not a Lamar Jackson problem when it comes to these Vikings rumors. It's a situational state of the Vikings.
And let's not forget, the Vikings have literally no chance of getting Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
By literally none, I mean the Ravens are not the kind of team that's going to let Lamar Jackson walk if they can help it for like 2 late first-round picks, which is what the Vikings would be offering. The fact is, the Vikings can clear up if they go all in. I'm talking extend Zadarius Smith to a huge deal. Extend Danielle Hunter to a huge deal.
Oh, my God.
Give like Harrison Phillips a big deal. Hawkinson a big deal. Restructure Brian O'Neill. Give Kirk Cousins a like signing bonus with void years to try and put off the cap hit as long as you can. We can clear up maybe 35 or 40 million in cap space. Do you really think the Ravens aren't going to match that they're going to let Lamar Jackson walk for like a middle of the field contract? No, they've got the cap space to match it without doing anything. Yeah. Or if they want, you just like give Marlon Humphrey a restructure, or Ronnie Stanley a restructure. The only team I think that has a realistic chance of getting Lamar Jackson with cap space is the Colts. They can make an offer the Ravens can't match. And the way he's being projected to go to all these teams that clearly don't have Lamar Jackson in mind with their cap choices, it's just silly.
Well,
only the Colts can.
Some sort of stories before or during the NFL offseason.
I love it. I love the more dramatic storylines you have, the better for me.
That's what makes the offseason go round.
Do you think Lamar Jackson is closer to the Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen tier quarterbacks, or do you think that if he signs this mega deal, he could start to fall into that Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson regretful?
I've never been super big on Lamar and his ability to throw the football. I think he's fantastic in terms of his athleticism, and he can get on the field with his legs. Mm-hmm. Then again, he's never really had a superstar receiver. Like he's never had a Jamar Chase. He's never had a Stephon Diggs. So it's tough for me to really answer that. But what I've seen from him when it comes to his playoff success and his playoff availability, it hasn't been there like these other guys.
So you would lean towards the regretful contract.
I lean towards regressing more away from those guys. I do think those guys overall, in terms of 3-dimensional skills when it comes to their arm and their legs, are better than Lamar.
Okay.
His arm is not there for me. It's really not.
On the other hand, though, I mean, Lamar has shown more than any of the other quarterbacks you've mentioned, with the exception of like 2015, 2016 Russ. Mm-hmm. I mean, we just know that he can put up elite numbers. And yeah, you have to build an offense around him. But the fact is the Ravens have done a mediocre job supporting him. They gave him an offensive coordinator he clearly grew stale with. It's extremely rare. I don't think we've ever really seen it where a player of Lamar Jackson's accolades and talents hits the market. The chance to acquire him for 2 late first-round picks when the going price for a quarterback like Russell Wilson, like Deshaun Watson, is 3 early first-round picks. It's just, I think you take that opportunity if you can sign into a reasonable deal. But apparently, Lamar Jackson isn't super interested in a reasonable deal. He's got Ken Francis negotiating for him. Ken Francis, if you look up his name, he's the founder of a home gym company, the entire gym. It's like this tiny little thing. The Instagram's got 500 followers. It looks like a scam that sells all-in-one home gym equipment. This is who's negotiating for Lamar Jackson. So I am just not sure Lamar's taking this very seriously. Dude's got to get an agent.
I think that the athleticism and talent that he has is tops amongst anybody else in the league.
Like, I mean, it's top 5.
Like if you put him on, if you replace Joe Burrow with Lamar, and this counters what I just said before. Like if he's on the Bengals,
it's easy to cut. Yeah.
He's fantastic. Like they're the AFC front runner. Like there's no difference.
That comes back to your point before. I think you've circled all the way back to if you have a contending team, or if you have a good roster around him, Lamar Jackson, 100% you take the swing at Lamar.
Like I don't believe you can put Daniel Jones on the Cincinnati Bengals and they'd win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You can put Lamar on the Bengals and they're the Super Bowl favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a Super Bowl favorite.
So, yeah, we're breaking it down situationally. And for certain teams, Lamar tying up that much money to Lamar Jackson, giving away a lot of picks that could be spent on filling holes, like the Vikings, not a good idea. If you're the Jets and you have everything around them, then, yeah, I mean, you're a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
Then why not?
With one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I wanted to tell you guys this real quick. I don't think I mentioned it to you. When you mentioned scammer Ziggy, on, I guess, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. My brother gets a text from his group chat of Villanova, former Villanova second floor people. I thought it was a group project. I didn't realize it was just 40-person all floor chat. And it just says from, like, I can't remember the names, like Eva or something. It's like, hey, have 2 Taylor Swift tickets available for the Philadelphia concert. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, Matt, you have to text back. And I take his phone, I just write in all text, or in all caps, interested. And Matt's like, what the hell are you doing? I haven't talked to these people in 2 years. I don't even know who this person is. So basically, I wind up taking, I'm like, you should text this girl. He goes, no. If you want to do it, you can text her. I was like, all right, I'm going to pretend to be you, though. So I text, hey, Eva, it's Matt Farrington from the second floor in Walsh or whatever his dorm was. How much are you thinking about selling these tickets for? I get a response back, $250, but negotiable. Tickets are section 102. I mean, this is like prime.
It's too good to be true.
Prime real estate. Well, hold on though. But I'm a believer. I'm gullible. So I'm looking at this going like, Matt, $250 a ticket. Like, should I bargain or should I just take these? He's like, yeah. And Matt, also gullible, looks up at me. He's like, oh, dude, do it. And my cousin Stephanie's there.
Oh, they're over.
Yeah, they're here. And she's like,
nice.
Paul, you have to do that. Are you kidding me? $250 for Taylor Swift 102? And I'm like, I think I'm doing this. And so I send over my email or whatever to get the tickets. And Eva writes back, so we can do this over Venmo? That good? I was like, yeah, that's fine. And as this is going on, Matt's Googling this person, and there's no records of her on Instagram, which is kind of weird.
Smart Matt there. Smart.
There's no records. I'm looking on LinkedIn. I'm just trying to find any source. I'm like, who is this girl? Like to confirm who she is. And we can't find anything. And then they send the Venmo over, and it's Wesley Terrell 30. And I go like, well, all right, that's a little odd. And we go to the Venmo, 0 friends, Wesley Terrell 30. And I get a text back from Eva saying, you there? And I just wrote back, yeah, 1 second. And then they're like, all good? We good to make this transaction? And I just wrote back, to sketch. Have fun at the concert, though, with the V's up. And deleted the number.
That's funny.
But I was so excited.
That's weird that it came from Matt's chat.
I think someone hacked GroupMe. It was a GroupMe.
Yeah.
It wasn't
not a group chat. It was a
yeah.
GroupMe. Okay, that makes more sense.
Everything was off about it though, and we weren't that close to getting scammed, but it was closer than it probably should have been.
Once you're exchanging Venmos, you're pretty close.
Yeah. No. Look. I almost wrote back. Like, hey guys, come on! Like, are you serious with Wesley Terrell 30? At least pretend to be this girl Eva. Like, I almost helped them out on their scam a little bit. I was flabbergasted.
Like you're so close. Like, just make it the name
just
you're
make
saying.
it the name of the person. Yeah. It's Wesley Terrell. That just sounds like a scammer. Wesley Terrell.
It does.
So yeah, I was disappointed with the execution from the scammers, but
you should have been like, dude, like, come on, like, you almost had
no,
me.
That's I know. I kind of wanted to give him a hand, but luckily Matt talked me out of messing with them. I was about to start saying like, oh, only 500 total. Let's go 1,000. But okay, let's do a couple more quick things here. Chances of going to the Super Bowl for a fan base: legit, hopeful, or delusional. We have 3 teams. We're gonna tell you whether or not they are dreaming going to the Super Bowl or if they have an actual chance. Let's start with no one else other than the Dallas Cowboys. Ziggy, legit, hopeful, or delusional of Cowboys fans to think that they can win the Super Bowl next season?
I suppose it's possible they could trade Dak Prescott and 3 or 4 first-round picks for Patrick Mahomes. If they pull off that exact trade, I'll move them up to hopeful. Ass is absolutely delusional. You've got a mediocre quarterback who hasn't shown the ability to thrive in the playoffs. You've got a great defense. But like, what has this team done to improve from last year when they got humiliated by San Francisco? They added Brandon Cooks and they cut Zeke.
Oh.
This is not enough to make.
Brandon
Yeah,
Cooks.
right? Like, I don't know why people are talking about this team like they're gonna do anything next year. We've seen it every year. They're carried by their division.
I don't understand the Brandon Cooks slander. He's a 1,000-yard receiver every year.
I think he's best receiver in football.
Every year except I draft him in fantasy.
But it's not like we're adding Jamar Chase here. We're adding a competent wide receiver too. But that's not enough to move this team from humiliate with the quarterback they have. They need like 49ers level talent in every other position.
That's a pretty big shot at Dak Prescott.
I don't see it, Paul. Give me delusional, just like every year.
He's a Dak hater.
Oof. I'll take it real quick. I'm going to go with hopeful.
I agree with
and
you.
I think they lean closer to delusional than legit. But the reason I'll go hopeful is the NFC is weak. The NFC is really weak right now. You have Philadelphia, and other than Philly and San Francisco, how many legitimate Super Bowl contenders are there in that conference? I don't see much. And now look, having Philadelphia in the division is not helpful. The Vikings are there, but who knows what they're going to be? Detroit's there, but who knows what they're going to be? I know. I'm going to go with hopeful because Tony Pollard now, he's going to take over as the lead back. That's been a long time coming. They have CeeDee Lamb. Do I think Brandon Cooks is a huge difference maker? No, but he's an upgrade. And with that defense, with Micah Parsons and everything that they have, I do think there's a chance that they get hot at the right time and can make a little run. So I'm going to go hopeful.
Yeah, I think the Lions have a better chance than the Cowboys of winning the NFC Championship. Straight up.
I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think that's crazy.
But they're the Lions. People are going to hype them up all offseason, and they're going to start the year
just real quick with the Lions,
2-6.
Just before we get off track, how did they let Jamal Williams go? I feel like he was the heart of that team. They just kind of let him walk.
And he was the best interviewer in the game. I'll tell you that much. Or the best press conference.
I was surprised to see that. But
I thought he was like all for that team all year. And
he was.
And then he just kind of walked. I was like, okay.
DeAndre Swift, baby.
Sorry, that was my 2 cents.
It's not DeAndre Swift. It's David Montgomery. No, what's hilarious is Jamal Williams left on a 3-year, $12 million contract. Like, they could have kept him so cheap, but the fact is touchdowns aren't sticky, and no one really cares about running backs. And Demo's elite. My boy.
David Montgomery is a good running back.
He's that dude you see in fantasy like the 4th, 5th round.
No. He's that dude you see in fantasy.
No. Because this is my first year with him. It's like you see him and it's like, oh, he's so appealing as your RB2 or flex, and you take him and it's like, oh, it's so disappointing.
When he's good though, and he has good games, he can win you
the
week.
Good games, he wins you the week.
He has that in the bag.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Cowboys, there we go.
I go hopeful on the Cowboys.
All right, Jack. How about the Jaguars? Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars.
I'd go delusional for now. Only similar to what you said about Dallas and the strength of the NFC not really being there.
You go counter.
For me, it's the opposite because I think there's definitely a good number of better teams right now in the AFC than Jacksonville. I don't see them. I think as long as Mahomes is playing for Kansas City, Lawrence isn't going to beat him.
You're not a Trevor Lawrence fan, though.
Josh Allen, the Bengals with Joe Burrow. You get the Jets with Rodgers, the Dolphins. I think they're all better than Jacksonville. I'd throw the Dolphins in. They're good with Tua. Yeah. Justin Herbert. One very good year from a second-year kid when you weren't expected to really be anything. I think they're jumping the gun a little bit. Their division's weak, so I'm not sure. If they go to the playoffs, yes. Winning a Super Bowl, delusional.
I'm just going to put it out there. They do have Calvin Ridley now.
I know. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I think a Super Bowl win is delusional for them.
I think the Jaguars have a chance to take that step forward and be one of the top 4 or 5 in the AFC. I mean, here's the advantage they have, right? You mentioned the division, and it's easy to undersell this, but you look at like the other teams up there. The Bengals have to play Browns, Ravens, Steelers. The Bills have to play Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, Tua and the Dolphins, Mac Jones and the Patriots. I guess really Bill
I'm
Belichick
sorry.
and the Patriots.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
The Chargers
Thank
have
you.
to play. The Chargers and the Chiefs have to play each other. The Sean Payton Broncos, the new look Jimmy Garoppolo Raiders, and then you look at who the Jaguars have to face. And realistically, they could be facing two or three teams that are picking in the top 5 next year: the Colts, the Texans, and the Titans. So that's 5 or 6 wins right there. That's enough to get the 1 seed. And with the 1 seed, if the playoffs run through Jacksonville, we've seen that games in Jacksonville can get loud. We've seen that Trevor Lawrence can play. Calvin Ridley's coming. Give me a light to medium hopeful.
All right.
My claim isn't that I think this team is going to the Super Bowl, but I see the path. It's get the 1 seed, hold on in tight games in Jacksonville, hope the team takes a step forward.
I think it's delusional.
You jumped from, I thought you were going to say this is a team that 5-6 wins the division, gets a home playoff game. You went straight to the 1 seed. It's a greedy Ziggy.
The Jaguars have a pretty good schedule next year.
Ziggy was a big Jags fan.
Ziggy's a Jags guy.
Ziggy's a Jags guy.
Look, the Jags
Big Jags
division,
guy.
like it's there. Like I do agree. I don't think it's crazy to say they could be a top 5 team in the AFC. But I think
Look, you know who the
winning a Super
Jaguars
Bowl,
play at home next year? They play the Chiefs and the Bengals at home next year.
I think they'll lose both those games.
Probably, but that's your path right there.
Yeah,
You
beating those guys.
get one of them. Get one.
If it were on the road, I'd get it. My only point is at home, hopeful doesn't mean lock. It means you can see a path and it's not insane. I see the path for the Jaguars.
I think Dallas has more of a chance than the Jaguars.
I do too. I do too. All right, I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I'm gonna say delusional, but I'm willing to buy in myself.
I might buy into hopeful, maybe.
No, I'm gonna buy delusional. I'm gonna support the delusional people.
Oh, sweet.
But I'm not hopeful yet. All right, last one. The New York Jets. Well, we can make this one a little quicker since we've hit it a lot on Aaron Rodgers. I think this is stone cold legit.
Yeah.
Because I think they're getting Rodgers, and if they don't, then they're blow it all up. They're done for another 6 years.
You take. I hate to say this. I hate the Jets so much. I'm gonna say hopeful actually, because it's the Jets. Like I'm never gonna say that they're legit. I don't care. I don't care who's playing quarterback. It's the New York Jets. So I'm gonna say.
The dream scenario here, as someone who roots for other teams' misery, as I've made very clear before, is that the Packers get too greedy and they say, we want more. The Jets won't give it to them. And then we walk away with Aaron Rodgers saying, look, I'm fine. I'll go home. I'll retire. I'm going to play guitar. And you have the Packers stuck with Jordan Love, who is just it's going to be sickening how much people are going to talk about Jordan Love coming in and reviving the Packers next season. He sucks.
Oh, do you understand how much money Aaron Rodgers is getting paid this year?
No. Again, let me dream. Just let me dream. I know he's
just.
playing.
Do you know what he's getting paid this year for 1 season of football?
What is it, 50 million? 50 for 60?
60.
Yeah.
He's getting paid $60 million, and people think he's going to walk away.
No, he won't walk away. He'll play. But I'm saying my dream scenario is the Jets botch this.
The best
Oh,
defense.
you don't need the dream scenario. Here's the scenario you need. Aaron Rodgers is coming off the worst season of his career when he couldn't get the Packers to the playoffs in a must-win game against the Lions. The Jets aren't the best team in their division. And you're really telling me that we're convinced that Aaron Rodgers is making this a championship team?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I am
Aaron
totally
Rodgers is
convinced.
going to come in, ruin the locker room vibes, create enormous headaches for the coaching staff by wanting things his way. All the receivers are going to be stuck playing with Aaron Rodgers, who's great in year 2. But the first year with him is always a tough transition for guys. Free agents say it, rookies say it.
And they're looking at Odell. Apparently, they're getting more serious about that. That locker room?
Mercedes Lewis is coming in.
Well, yeah, but he's the peacemaker.
I mean, you give one of the best defenses in football with the best corner in football, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm
it's
sorry,
probably
Ziggy.
legit, but I'm going to go hopeful because I don't want to
If I were a Jets fan, they get Aaron Rodgers.
Just watch.
My heart would
I hope you're right. I really do.
The ceiling for this Jets team is a loss in the AFC Championship. That's the ceiling with Aaron Rodgers.
How can you say that with Aaron Rodgers and that team?
Well, I do think I think the Jets schedule with Buffalo twice and Kansas City.
I think they're better than Buffalo with Rodgers.
I think Buffalo twice and Kansas City. The schedule, and I mean Miami twice.
Well, we just got 2 corners that are elite.
Miami twice, Buffalo twice, and the Chiefs. I don't see the Jets with the number 1 seed. Now, if you have to go on the road in the AFC to the playoffs, to Kansas City, to Cincinnati, to Buffalo, you're not winning on the road. So that's where I could buy. That's where I could buy that AFC Championship ceiling. They need a home field advantage.
Well, here's the thing: is we've seen Aaron Rodgers. You look at the past couple of years, and in big games against medium teams, he's consistently fallen short. You look at what these AFC quarterbacks can do, what Burrow, Mahomes, even Allen can do. When the moment comes up, they're Superman. This used to be Aaron Rodgers. Now Aaron Rodgers is 205 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception against the Detroit Lions.
See, I think I think that applies to Mahomes. I like Burrow and Allen. I think are very, very good, but I think Mahomes is really in a class by himself. I think Rodgers can beat Burrow or Allen in the playoffs.
I mean, shoot, Aaron Rodgers against the Bills last year is 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Aaron Rodgers against the Eagles, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In the big games against competent teams, he sucked.
I mean, I don't see it.
Packers sucked last year.
I don't think Rodgers automatically comes in and makes the Jets better than Buffalo right off the bat.
Maybe I'm just a little biased from the NFC North.
They go on the road to Buffalo. Buffalo's going to beat them.
I don't think they go in and just start mauling everyone. But I do think that. Would I be surprised at all if the Jets won the AFC East with Aaron Rodgers? I think I'd expect it. If I were a Jets fan, I'd be like, yeah, our team beat Buffalo last year who was playing that game? Wilson or Mike White?
Yeah,
in New York.
That wasn't really close.
But and Buffalo's just, I think that they're, not crumbling, but I do think that they're regressing more than.
There's just so many good teams in the AFC.
Yeah, it's a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. That's why I go hopeful.
All right, let's finish with just a couple questions. 4 downs. We made that up on the spot. 4 downs.
Let's make this quick.
4 questions, and we'll wrap this up. Hey guys, did you give a shit about the World Baseball Classic?
Yes, I did. I actually watched this quite often. I watched Venezuela's run out of their pool. I love watching USA. I watched every one of their games. Japan was cool to see. I watched most of the games. It was cool. I liked seeing when Trout and Ohtani in the final led both their teams out with the country flag. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many magical moments. It was clear these guys cared a ton. Oh, again, the Ohtani v. Trout, in the 9th inning, 2 of the best players to ever grace the game going at one another, something you never see. There's just something different about the World Baseball Classic, and I love to watch it.
When Edwin Diaz was out there getting saves, he was more pumped saving the game for his country than he was for the Mets.
Yeah. I'll say this about it. I watched 4 outs of the World Baseball Classic. I saw the second out of the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th yesterday. Then when we walked the guy, I was like, all right, screw this. Turned on 10 minutes of Ted Lasso and waited for the top of the 9th. And then we came up. And I'll say this. I get that. From what I heard,
you're a huge baseball guy.
I'm not a huge baseball guy, but from what I heard, it was just unbelievable. The whole tournament was. Everyone said it was some of the best baseball they've seen. I was really disappointed with the Mookie Betts double play because if you had a runner on second, that Ohtani Trout matchup becomes. I really think 10 times more interesting. I get that there was something symbolic about it, but. In the moment, it was like, all right, the U.S. is kind of screwed here. Trout's not blasting a home run. If he blasts a home run, it's an all-time memory. But I thought it was really cool. But no, I didn't really give a shit.
Okay, that's first down.
Second down, which NFL team would you least want to be a fan of right now?
I'm going to go New England. New England. You know what? I'm going to say this because the division now, if the Jets get Rodgers, as you're talking about, becomes impossible. They're never going to do anything with Josh Allen. I think the Dolphins are better than them. Rodgers and the Jets.
Belichick will be gone soon. Mac Jones stinks.
They got your boy.
I don't think. Yeah, they got my TikToker. They did.
They got the juju.
I don't think there's too much talent on New England either. So I think there's 3 teams better than them in their own division. So I'm going to go the Patriots.
Wow.
See, I consider history in this. So I look at a team that since 2003 has won 3 playoff games, doesn't have a quarterback, has a run-first offensive identity, fired their GM in the middle of the season, traded a star, collapsing defense. The Tennessee Titans, I think, just have reason to be miserable. The Colts and the Texans are picking high and getting the quarterback of the future. The Jaguars have it. I don't see how this team is anything good in the past 5 years, and their peak was losing in the conference championship after going 9-7. Excellent year, but I would not want to be a Titans fan because you've got a lot of miserable years behind you and a lot of miserable years ahead of you.
At least you got Vrabel.
I think
Vrabel's
Titans and Pats are similar teams at the moment.
In Malik.
Yeah, Malik.
The Titans don't believe in Malik.
Well, I think most people, when you're asked this question, most people I'd imagine immediately go to, okay, I don't want to be the Texans, but the number 2 pick. They're gonna have probably Bryce Young, and that'll be fun. The Colts, they also have a high pick. The Panthers, they got number 1. So any rookie quarterback situation, I automatically rule out. Browns with Deshaun Watson's contract, that's really, really, really bad.
But at least he might get back.
Yeah, at least it's Deshaun Watson. I look over to the Green Bay Packers, and the reason that I'm going to say them, they are acting like they have their quarterback of the future, and I know that they don't. So I think they're right now just lining up for a couple of years of wasting time on Jordan Love, seeing if he works out. He won't. Then they're going to have to start another project. You're lining up for years of mediocrity to, if anything, honestly, probably just not being very good at all.
3 teams who nobody else would say, but aren't bad answers there. Similar.
Yeah, Packers suck. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch after you saying this and we go into next season.
No.
And Jordan Love just lights up the Vikings.
Don't you even. Jordan Love. I haven't bought it from the moment they drafted
him. It might be the only team he lights up, and it would be just so funny.
It would be fitting for Jordan Love to just come out and light the world on fire next season.
Play this clip back when Love goes nuts, and it's Pats Titans AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, 2 more. Third down. Heard you guys talking about FDU last episode. Have you ever truly been happy as a sports fan? I'll start here.
Happier than that?
No. Have you ever truly been happy? Just pure bliss. I've only seen really a handful of people ever, and one of them was my friend Aiden Flanagan after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and he looked at me, and truly, you would think that this man just saw the face of God. He was so happy, at perfect peace, and I don't think I'll be able to experience that. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to experience that until the Vikings win a Super Bowl. Notre Dame can win, I'll be thrilled. I have no one else who compares on that level, but if the Vikings win, that's my pure joy. So I'd say no.
Yeah, Steelers Super Bowl, I was up there. But I experienced a feeling that I've never experienced before when FDU was dribbling out the clock against Purdue in the final 2 seconds.
So that was pure happiness.
So that was just pure. I didn't know where I was. I was blacked out. It was the happiest moment of my entire life. More so than the Steelers Super Bowl.
Of your entire life?
Of my entire life.
Wow.
Yes.
Ziggy, 100% joy, pure joy as a sports fan. Have you had
none?
No. We're talking to a broken guy here after that Furman shot too.
What? I just, the Rams won the Super Bowl. That was nice, I guess. But at this point, I was already a Vikings fan. Other than that, it's been a tough ride.
You didn't realize it at the time, but you knew in your heart.
Notre Dame football, nothing but disappointment. UVA basketball, nothing but disappointment.
I'm gonna say something does rival FDU, and a feeling I've only felt twice. FDU in this was I was at a Pirates game and they were down 6-0 on fireworks night, battled back,
pure joy,
walk off grand slam to win the game 9-7 in the bottom of the 9th inning. And I was losing my mind because I won the Pirates bet. I was going out to the casino. I was having a great time.
I've been to 99 a few times. I've been to the Stephon Diggs catch, the Clemson game. The Notre Dame Clemson game was close to pure joy.
I went pure joy to Jesse James. Just pure joy to pure disappointment.
Not 100% though. I don't think anything will be 100 yet. All right, fourth down. If you could, and please leave a comment below. Yeah, leave a comment below if you've ever had pure happiness. We go for it. We don't cash out. A lot of risk taking on this show. If you could start a team with any non-quarterback in the NFL, who would it be?
I'm going to go defense. I'm big on defense. So I'm going to go with the best cornerback.
Ooh.
Cornerback in football. We discussed this off air. I was leaning towards TJ.
I thought you were going to take my pick.
Leaning towards Micah, but I'm going to go with Sauce Gardner. Because I think when you have a guy who can lock up somebody's best receiver, it is a huge value that not many teams have. So I'm going to go with Sauce, young 22-year-old kid who can lock you right up, going to be there for a long time. Love defense. Give me Sauce.
How many times do teams say they're one cornerback from Super Bowl contention? Very rarely. how often do teams say, boy, if we could just protect our quarterback, maybe we'd have something? It's tough for me not to pick Tristan Wirfs. So I'm just going to pick him. We're talking a 24-year-old, arguably the best tackle in the game, certainly top 3. He can protect your quarterback's blind side as long as you need. We know it's one of the most valuable positions. It's either that or wide receiver. It's just tough for me to pass up that kind of young elite talent. The only other player that I can justify picking is not that good Jamar Chase. But no, for me, it's Tristan Wirfs all day.
Well, every team who says we're almost there has their cornerback.
Indeed, but what matters is quarterback play. And the non-quarterback position most likely would affect quarterback play.
Wait, what the hell was that Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson crap?
Cornerback.
Yeah, I know.
No, he's saying what matters is quarterback play. So Ziggy was a little cheeky and tried to do whatever he could to help the quarterback there, which I get. But wait, what was that with Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson? Is that
Jamar Chase is the better player?
The hell are you talking about? That the hell he is.
Yeah, he is.
Oh. I said, right before we came on, you said I'm thinking Justin Jefferson.
I'm a Jamar Chase hater too. I think he might be better also.
What about? I don't understand. Coming out of this season, what could possibly make you think Jamar Chase?
He's bigger, faster, stronger. He's about as good as running routes. He's just a beast.
He's not as good as running routes. He probably doesn't have as good of hands.
He's bigger, faster, stronger,
but not better.
Is he big? Is he bigger?
He certainly plays bigger.
Yeah,
it's close.
Oh my gosh, are you guys kidding me right now?
Close.
He has Joe Burrow on the other side of him. He has T. Higgins taking away all this attention, and Justin. All right, screw it. This is ridiculous. Really?
Let him know, Paul.
It's close.
Let him know.
It's close.
Justin Jefferson at 18. He was threatening the record this season.
Well, I mean, he's the only weapon on that team.
That's true.
Like, he just gets force-fed the ball.
Yeah, but he also gets double-teamed every
Chase
game.
has 7 other receivers, and he still puts up massive numbers.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot, probably easier coverage than Jefferson.
If Chase is on Minnesota, he's having 2,700 yards.
I don't know.
Because Kirk throws him the ball a million times a game.
You watch Vikings games. Justin Jefferson makes insane catches.
His 1,800 yards is skewed.
I love Jamar Chase. I think
Jamar Chase had 40 fewer receptions this year and put up not so dissimilar numbers. On 81 receptions, he put up 1,500 yards.
And what did Jefferson do?
I also hate Chase.
128, 1,809.
Yeah, all right. So he had 300 more yards and 50 more catches?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably has 37 targets a game.
Unbelievably.
Catches are what you call a volume.
What was the targets?
The targets, I'm not sure. Jamar Chase also had way more touchdowns. Touchdowns score points, receptions don't.
Did Chase really have 1,500 yards last year?
This is his rookie year.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because I was gonna say
last year he was injured.
I was like, wait a second, am I tripping? I thought he was hurt.
Yeah, he had 1,110 touchdowns.
Would you say Chase or Pickens?
Coming off an injury year, and you of all people, you hate Jamar Chase.
No, I was trying to stir you up.
Okay, well it worked. All right.
Stir the pot.
I'm gonna go. I love
stir the pile a bit.
I love the Sauce Gardner pick. I think that's a really good pick, and I understand Tristan Wirfs, so I wouldn't pick him first overall. I'm gonna go with Micah Parsons. Outside of Mahomes, maybe even including Mahomes, he might be the best player in the league. And when you're able to get a young defensive guy like him, put him on the line, get after the quarterback, make his life a living hell, Micah Parsons has an unlimited motor. This guy he goes through double teams. He goes through everything. He's one of the best pass rushers that I've ever seen. And frankly, when you watch him play, he's an unstoppable force. Give me him, and let's meet at the quarterback. That's what I'm
sure Micah Parsons' breakout seasons have correlated with a lot of success for the Cowboys.
The defense,
especially given that you guys apparently think they've got a great quarterback and a great offense. Surely putting Micah Parsons on the defense is transformative.
Look, if I'm starting a team,
I'm
starting a team. Micah Parsons is an absolute.
Imagine Mike
drop him in coverage. You could rush. He could literally do everything.
Imagine Mike
except score points.
Yeah. Well, Tristan Wirfs can't score points. He helps you score points.
No, Micah Parsons does not.
No, you know who can score the pick six? Sauce Gardner. He scores points.
I might just go Justin Jefferson just out of spite here. I'm upset about that, Ziggy. I can't.
What?
What about Jalen Waddle?
Shut up.
Yeah, LOL. Dolphins fans.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
Waddle's really good.
Is Waddle? What makes Justin Jefferson that much better than Jalen Waddle?
I think Justin Jefferson's the best route runner in football. He's able to get separation. He contested catches. He's not as fast as Jalen Waddle.
And I've seen Waddle catch these slants and take it to the house like nobody else can.
Look, Google the Bills game. Watch Justin Jefferson in that game.
You're right. Google the Bills game.
Yeah, well, Waddle was awesome in the Bills game.
All right, I don't know. What do I have to say? Jalen Waddle is a very good receiver. Very good receiver, but he's not the same route runner. I don't think he's good of hands. I don't think he's as clutch in the big moments. I think Justin Jefferson delivers all the time. Jalen Waddle has games where he totally disappears, and more often than Jefferson does.
Well, that's because we don't have to force feed him the ball.
Shut up with this force feeding bullshit. Is force feeding? Are we talking? Devontae Adams.
How did Justin Jefferson do in the
Cowboys
and Green Bay's game?
You're a Vikings
That's how I know.
fan.
Paul, what did Justin
he have in the
Jefferson
Lions
put
game?
up?
230 yards.
Oh gosh.
Oh well, he put up 230 yards against the Lions, and we still lost.
This is
How
like
about the games where we
Heinz
needed him?
Ward.
The Cowboys game, he put up 33 yards. Eagles game, he put up 48. Lions game 1, 14. Packers game, 15. Bears game, 38.
Yo, this is like
Jets,
This is
45.
ridiculous. Jets 45, game-winning touchdown.
This is
I'm
like
just
me
saying,
being
Jim.
asked who's a better safety, Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, and me saying Ed Reed. And justify.
No, I know that this is what's bothering me is I know he thinks Justin Jefferson's better than Jamar Chase.
I don't know.
I just don't.
Before we started the show, we said who would you start your team with non-QB, and you said Justin Jefferson. You didn't hesitate.
Because my fandom makes me committed to Justin Jefferson coming to mind first.
Ridiculous.
But look, Paul, I'm willing to work to overcome my biases. I'm just not sure you are.
Look, I see where he's coming. I'm a Chase hater, and I think he's better. So I see where he's coming from.
I know you don't either. I know no one here thinks he's better. In fact, if you're watching right now, please leave a comment. Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, who do you want?
Paul,
Yes.
I don't know what I can do to convince you, but I truly believe if you were asking me who is the better player, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. I mean, it's Jamar Anthony Chase all day.
I think he's just Googling his middle name.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what his middle name was.
He was just typing in his name.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
okay.
give me Jamar Chase over Triple J.
Jamar Chase has that big playability.
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Both of you were sitting here earlier in the season saying he's not a top 10 receiver going into week 1.
I don't think
Look,
he's a top 10 receiver.
you can't accuse me. You know, since before Jamar Chase entered the league, I said he's a surefire Hall of Fame.
I think Chase is 9. Jefferson's 10.
You did say that. All right. We're wrapping this. Jack has a test tomorrow. What's your test then?
Public health. Yeah.
And
you got any tests? You giving out any tests lately?
I gave out a test tonight. Actually, they're going to be doing it this weekend.
Do you have any question off the top of your head?
Until it's done, I really can't say that publicly.
You can't say that what the question is?
What if one of my students watches this and then finds out what the question is?
Oh.
It's all right.
I thought they had the test.
No, it's like a take-home test for the weekend.
Then they get a free question.
Okay. Can you at least give us a topic?
bonus
Just a topic.
No, give us one question.
Just a topic.
One question.
The topic would be this: Descartes and substance dualism. This is one of the things that's on there. It's about Descartes' account of
I
perception.
remember going over that a couple years ago.
We can off air this with Ziggy. We'll get in.
We'll off air.
I don't think people who are listening, I'm not sure if they understand just how comprehensive this conversation's about to be when we log off.
Look, they pay me the big bucks. It's my job to figure this out. I've got developed views on this. Look, Paul, all I know is in talking to these students, I've learned that some of them think they're material objects. They think that matter can think. And this is just like one of the most outrageous things I've ever heard. But apparently this is like a widespread view. And this is so silly.
Well, I mean, can matter think? Aren't we
No.
matter? Aren't we matter?
What are you talking about?
Can certain collections of matter think? Which
No.
we aren't. Are we
Look,
not? Matter?
it's like this. No, I don't think you're a material object. It's like this. Imagine you like go into a like if you think that materialism is true and like your material object is thinking, you think it's like this. Imagine going into a windmill, right? And you see all these pieces like sort of going together to produce this outcome.
Okay.
You must think that if you blew up a brain really, really, really big, you could like step inside it. Somewhere in the connection of the different pieces of the brain, you'd see an explanation for thinking. And this is just absurd. All you get in mechanical motion is stuff bumping into one another.
So how do you wait? So how do we think?
I'm Jack Weinberger. Thanks for joining the Paul Farrington show today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Okay, we'll see you next.
Our fans are immaterial objects. They should stop being materialists. It is destroying their soul.
We'll off air on this. All right. Thanks for listening to the Paul Farrington Show. Good luck to any of Ziggy's students if you're trying to get ahead on the test and listening to this portion of the show. We'll see you next week.
We try to convince them to make it easier.
See ya.